I hope you're all well. Today we are starting a new weekly reading vlog. It is Tuesday. I did do a clip for this yesterday, but I went on and on and on about a bunch of books. I'm not even sure if I'm going to read anymore this week. So my mood right now is proper like mood reading. So we're just going to see how that goes. But there are two books that I'm currently, well, one of them I am partway through, one of them I'm about to start on audio. So the first book that I am partway through is Lotus by Jennifer Hartman. I have been banging on about this since I read Still Beating, which I absolutely loved and was my favourite book of the year last year. But I'm really excited to dive into this one, and I have started it. I am a bookmark. I run a bookmark shop and I am using my gift note as a bookmark. What's wrong with me? Anyway, I am 63 pages in and so far really enjoying this. This one follows Sydney and also Oliver Lynch. They were best friends when they were kids, and then 22 years ago Oliver went missing. He's got a younger stepbrother called Gabe, and Sydney's got a sister called Clem. They were like a proper foursome when they were kids, and basically Oliver obviously disappeared 22 years ago and he has reappeared. It starts off with him reappearing in the street in like a hazmat suit and a gas mask and everything, and being very confused at the fact that the world appears to still be going. So as we go through this story now, I think Sydney had like a big crush on Oliver when she was younger, and the romance is going to be between her and Oliver. But Oliver's trying to adjust back into life. He's been on his own, pretty much on his own, apart from this one guy that did this to him, for the last 22 years. He doesn't understand technology. Like, so much has changed for over the last 22 years, and he's trying to piece his life back together, and he's struggling massively, naturally. So yeah, so far really enjoying it, loving the writing style, naturally, because I love Jennifer Hartman's writing style. And I do feel like this is one of those books where if I was given a few hours to just sit and read, I could like smash my way through it in a few hours. So enjoying this so far. And then the audiobook I'm going to start, because that is a physical read, there's no audiobook for it. The audiobook I'm going to start is The Secret Bridesmaid by Katie Birchall. Tracy did put this one on my TBR, one of my patrons, for my Patreon pick, and it was gifted to me by Claire, so thank you Claire for this one. And this is following Think 27 Dresses, if you've ever seen the movie. This is following a woman, a professional bridesmaid called Sophie, who's hired to be a bridesmaid and kind of help out at the wedding. And it's following her, and I assume that there might be a romance in here, maybe, I don't know, but we're gonna see what happens. It is a fairly chunky book, but I've heard good things, almost 400 pages, so I'm gonna listen to the audiobook while I do a little bit of journaling now, and I need to wash the pots as well and pack some orders. So I'm going to listen to that while I'm doing all of those things. Really just want to read Lotus, I'm not going to lie, but I might as well read something while I'm doing those things. So I'm going to give this one a go. So that's those two of the books that I'm focusing on this week. Whether or not I pick anything else up, I will let you know. But yeah, that's what I'm reading. Actually, those two are on my TBR, so mood reading is not the one this week, but maybe it will be later on in the week, we'll see. But I'll keep you posted, let you know how I'm getting on. I'm going to get some journaling done. Hello loves, it is now Thursday, and I'm sure I was probably wearing this jumper on Thursday as well. I swear I haven't worn it for the last 3 days. Not on Thursday, on Tuesday. But I did put it back on this morning to go to my parents this morning, with my brother, sister-in-law and Thomas. So we've been there this afternoon. You've seen a little clip of us down at the beach. Thomas wanted to go see the boat again. So the tide was really out when we got there. Really in when we got there, and it had gone out by the time we went out for our walk, which was nice because he actually got to see the boat. I think it would have been pretty underwater otherwise. But I thought I would come on, give you a little update on how my reading's going. I did start Lotus. I don't know if I'm any further on than the last time I spoke to you, but I'm 63 pages in. I don't think I am any further on. I have decided to put this down for the time being and probably pick it back up in April, because I think that this will be a perfect book for the hybrid genre. In April, it's romance but with an element of suspense, so I think it's going to be perfect for that. So not only is it my own genre, but there's a suspense element to it as well, and it's a really quick read so far. So planning on going back to this one in April, so that's my plan for that. I have put it down for the time being. I didn't want to get too far in for it not to count, because I know that Cass has said use this to your discretion, but obviously if you only have, say, 150 pages left and it's a reasonable sized book, it doesn't count. So I'm only 63 pages in, I'm not that far in at all, so I'm going to put it down for the time being, but otherwise I'm really enjoying it. The Secret Bridesmaid, which I did start on Tuesday, I am now 95 pages into, and I'm enjoying this. It's very British, but I'm enjoying it so far. Sophie is our main character, and she is a professional bridesmaid. Now, this happened by accident one day. She got a phone call from her cousin who was getting married, and she had 3 months left to plan, but she was a doctor, her fiance is a doctor, and she was incredibly busy with work and she hadn't had a minute to sit down and think about the wedding. And then one day she phoned Sophie up freaking out about the fact that she only had 3 months left to plan everything, and Sophie basically went through these steps with her over the phone, calmed her down immediately, and her cousin was like, dude, you should totally do this as like a job because you're amazing at it. And she thought nothing of it, and then like for a couple of days afterwards she couldn't stop thinking about it, so she quit her corporate well-paid job to do this, and it's really good. I'm really enjoying it so far. One thing I will say is a breath of fresh air at her parents, especially her mum. So usually if your mother is like my mum, actually to be fair, my mum isn't like this at all. After saying that, my mum doesn't take much interest in anything, to be perfectly honest, going on in my life, but she's not one to like badger me about being in a relationship and getting married and having babies. She never has been. My dad actually is more so on that level, but I think it comes from a concern of being on my own. I'm totally fine, obviously, and I'm in a relationship now. However, I know a lot of like parents, and especially in literature as well and movies, mothers are very much so on the case of their daughters that they should get married and they should be settling down and having babies and stuff. And it's a breath of fresh air in this one to see that her mum is very much so on the side of, your job is important and I respect what you're doing and I want to help you make this work. And it's just really nice. There's no animosity between her and her mum, other than the usual, oh for God's sake, my parents are around again kind of thing. But I just think it's really nice to see that, rather than it being a case of mum's badgering you because your love life isn't going the way she wants it to. It's more so that she's supporting your decision to quit your everyday job that pays very well and is very secure, to do this thing that is not secure and you don't know whether it's going to work or not. It turns out it is, but she's now landed this massive job. The client doesn't want her there. The client's mother has employed her and the client does not want her there and is embarrassing her. So I'm intrigued to see where this goes, and I think there is going to be some romance between Sophie and the client's brother, which will be intriguing. So I'm really enjoying it so far, having a good time and enjoying this. So going to continue on with that. I am doing the audiobook for that one. And then because I did decide to put Lotus down the other day and I wanted to read something on my Kindle at Andy's the other day just for a little bit, I did start Her Soul for Revenge by Harley LaRue. This is the final one in the series so far. It does say on its Souls trilogy. When book 3 is coming out, I don't know, because this one came out 2021, so when book 3 is coming out, I'm not sure. I don't think there's been any news on it so far, but I didn't get too far in. I got to page 43, so I did start it, enjoying it so far. We're following Juniper and Zane. Zane is a demon, Juniper is a normal everyday girl. However, she was kidnapped with the help of some students from her college, actually, and her best friend at the time, her two best friends at the time, brother and sister, their dad runs this like cult, and they have this thing that they have to sacrifice someone every certain amount of years, or every year or something, from this almost like founding family, and Juniper is like an heir of this founding family. They have to sacrifice someone from that family every so often in order to appease the gods or some shit, and they tried to sacrifice when she manages to escape, and now she wants to get revenge, and I think Zane is going to help her. However, she's been in a bit of bother ever since then, because these elves, which we saw in the first book, are now stalking her, and she is trying to just survive enough in order to exact her revenge, and I think Zane is going to help her. It turns out that the guy from the first book, whose name I cannot remember right now, in fact he was in Zane's chapter just previously, Leon. Leon has been sent by Hadley, who is the guy that runs the cult, to try to find her and bring her back so that the sacrifice can carry on and continue and be successful. And Leon's having no success, and quite frankly he doesn't want to get involved with it, but he's kind of under Hadley's thumb, which is something that we come across in the first book. So I'm intrigued by this one. This kind of runs in tandem with the first book, I believe. This is Juniper and Zane's story, while the story from the first book is going on with Leon and I can't remember her name, but with them two. So it runs in tandem. So during the first book we have come across Zane and Jupiter towards the end of that book, so we know kind of some of their story but not everything, and this is giving us the backstory of how that built up and got to that point with Leon and the other girl. So I'm intrigued, I'm enjoying it so far, and it will get me up to date with this series, which is great. So it is, you know, it's perfect for Final Book Support Group. It counts for that, so I'm having a good time with it. I have got Patreon sprints this evening, which I haven't done in a couple of weeks, so I'm really excited to hang out with them and spend some time with them. And I'm undecided what to pick up between The Secret Bridesmaid and Her Soul for Revenge. I feel like I should pick this up and make some more progress in this, because it is a chunky ass book and it will take me some time to get through. This goes on, how many pages are you? 546 pages, so I feel like I should make some progress in this, really try and get like to this point, just because the page keeps opening up. Try and make some progress in this, I think, because this will be a very easy read while I'm pottering about doing some pots and stuff like that. Like tomorrow maybe, I'm doing Final Book Support Group sprints tomorrow, so hopefully I can get through these two books over the next couple of days, and make some progress in both of them. Speaking of my Patreon, I did just want to mention it very, very quickly. I don't tend to mention it very often in my videos. I might make a mention to it on the community page and on occasion in my Instagram stories and on Twitter, but I have recently started a very new readathon, year-long readathon with my patrons, called the F1 Readathon, and I'm really excited about it. I wanted to do something that encompassed kind of something that I absolutely love alongside reading, and that is F1. I love Formula 1. Which is motor car racing, if you didn't know, and I absolutely love it, so I wanted to encompass that. So I've come up with this year-long readathon with some assistance with Jade. Thank you so much, Jade, for that. Where every month we do a 24-hour readathon, and basically instead of the championship points, we have the readers points, and you can gain points by reading certain prompts, and it's very exciting. I'm really excited that my patrons are so excited about it, because we do have a few F1 fans involved in my Patreon as well, but not everybody is, and even the people that aren't are excited about it, because it's very, very easy to understand, even if you don't understand F1. So I'm really excited about it. Just wanted to mention it very, very quickly. Again, it will be like a year-long readathon. I know we're already, well, it'll start in April, so we'll be 4 months into the year at that point. But you can join for as little as £2.50 to take part in the readathon. I do have a smaller tier than that at £1, which is the Great Coats tier, but that does just only get you access to my Patreon feed. So posts on that. So yeah, but from Murderbots onwards, Murderbots are $2.50, you will get access to the readathon. So if anyone was interested, feel free to check the link out in the description box down below. Absolutely no pressure, no need to check it out if you're not interested, but I just thought I would mention it very, very quickly here while I'm on here, because I'm super excited about it. I only launched it to my patrons yesterday on Wednesday, and I just thought I would mention it briefly now while I'm here. So yeah, I'm super hyped about that, but I'm gonna make myself scarce and get myself ready for sprints, because they will be starting soon, in the next half hour. So yeah, I am gonna make a move, make some progress hopefully on my books, and hopefully fill this vlog out a little bit, because so far I think I've got maybe 3 clips, if that. So I will check back in with you when I've got another update for you.
What if the world had more of your smile? What if the wind could spread your love? What if your sweetness could reach every...
Okay, hey, it is Friday and it is currently 3:45. I have to equip this update because we've got a sprint going. But I'm here to give you an update on my reading. I did just finish Her Soul for Revenge by Harley LaRue. I think this is going to get 5 stars. Haven't run it through Core Power yet, but I reckon it's going to get 5 stars. This was fantastic. I absolutely loved it, and it was such a fast-paced read. I really enjoyed this series, and I'm going to be picking up more from Harley LaRue in the future. And I did check out last night as well. I googled for more information on the 3rd one, because this is supposed to be a trilogy and it came out in 2021, if I remember correctly. Yeah, so I wondered where the 3rd one was. And it turns out that Harley LaRue's got a Facebook page, and she has mentioned that the 3rd one is going to be called something like Soul for a Witch or something. And she has said that it will be released this year, 2023. She just hasn't given it a date yet because she hasn't finished it yet. So I am keeping my eyes eagerly open for that one, because I'm very excited to finish this series off. So yeah, fantastic. Really happy I've gotten up to date with that, because it means I can dive straight into the last one when it's released. And now I am going to switch gears again and go off-piste again on what I said last night about the fact that I would dive then into The Secret Bridesmaid and try and finish that off today. And I'm actually going to dive back into Shadows of Self by Brandon Sanderson. Just do not question me on this, okay? I started this with Jade as a buddy read. Must have been 18 months ago or so. It was ages ago. We both put it down and stopped reading it because we weren't enjoying the series, and she has since, I think back end of last year, has finished the series. Well, she's finished the trilogy. There's obviously Lost Metal, I think it's called, which has come out since, which is book 4 in the series, but she's finished up to Bands of Mourning, so including Bands of Mourning, and I've decided that now or never is probably the time for me to go back to this and try and finish it off. I am up to page 228. I don't have long left at all, about 2 hours and 15 minutes of the audio left on 2.5 speed. Whether or not I listen to it on that speed, I'm not sure. But this one is a fantasy that follows Wax and Wayne. I loved Era 1. I don't enjoy this as much. It's got a western setting. We're following Wax and Wayne, and this is set many, many years after Era 1. The magic is different in here, the way that the magic works and stuff, and I'm just not a big fan of it. However, I would like to complete the series and finish it off. I feel like if I don't, I could end up missing some Easter eggs as I continue on with Brandon Sanderson with Warbreaker and then the Stormlight Archives. So I do want to finish it off and get this wrapped up. So I feel like now or never is the time to go into this, and also following off the back of a book I've just really enjoyed as well. At least I'm not, you know, already feeling like I'm slumping and then I'm picking this up. I feel like now is a good time to pick this up. So I'm going to try and finish this today and get through this and get it done and dusted. Jade said she can't believe that I'm actually going to do it, but she did say that Bands of Mourning was really good compared to the other two, so that's keeping me going as well. We'll see what happens. But yeah, I'm going to try and finish this one off instead, and that's going to be my plan for, well, the rest of the evening anyway. I don't know how long it's actually going to take me, but I only have 2 hours 15 minutes, so if I can stay focused on it, which I'm hoping will be the case, I can have it finished within the next like 3 hours or so, including breaks for sprints. So fingers crossed that it's doable, and then maybe I can just dive into something a little bit easier this evening for the rest of the evening, maybe, or watch some TV, who knows. So yeah, I'm gonna read this. We'll see how this goes. I'll keep you posted. Okay, hey, it's currently 10 to 9 in the evening on Friday, focus, and I'm just gonna grab myself a bath. I don't have baths very often because I've got a corner bath because my bathroom's small, and because I'm long, I don't fit in the bath properly, but I thought I would treat myself to a little bit of a bath. Tomorrow I'm getting my legs waxed, so I do need to either have a shower or a bath, and I need to wash my hair, so I thought, why not a bath? I can get some listening to an audiobook done while I'm in the bath. But I wanted to come on and let you know I did finish Shadows of Self by Brandon Sanderson, which is book 2 in Era 2 Mistborn. I gave this one 3 stars. I have already mentioned in the clip previous that I just don't find this series as engaging as Mistborn Era 1. I loved the magic system in Mistborn Era 1. I loved the characters so much more. In this, we're following Wax and Wayne, and although I do enjoy the characters as people, I just don't enjoy the plot as much. It's much more of a kind of Wild Wild West Western type of series. The magic system isn't as good in this one, which is bizarre because it is after Era 1, but you'd think that the magic system kind of would have evolved a little bit. I feel like the magic system in this is entirely different to what it was in Era 1. But regardless, I finished it. I'm happy now that I have made my way through this one and managed to finish it off. 3 stars. It is what it is. But I've now found myself in a bit of a dilemma because I don't know what to pick up while I'm in the bath. So my options are, I could continue with The Secret Bridesmaid by Katie Birchall and illustrated by Tracy. Picked for me by Tracy. This would make sense so that I can continue on and make more of a dent in this. I'm 94 pages in. It would be a great one to be reading in the bath. My other option is to start Throttle by Lauren Asher, which is the Literature Book Club pick for March, but I'm wondering whether to save this for next week. We don't have the live show. We've got the live show set for the 10th of April, so I do still have like a couple weeks left on this. I could even save it for April to read in April. So I'm debating whether or not maybe just to leave this at least till next week, if not the week after, so that it's closer to the live show and I remember what I'm saying about it. And then the other option is to go straight into The Bands of Mourning by Brandon Sanderson. One thing I will say about Shadow of Self is the ending did have quite a cliffhanger that's got me intrigued to pick this up. The only thing I will say about this is it is much chunkier. It's 400 and, oh, that's including the Arcanium, which I don't necessarily read, I just reference if need be. 437 pages long, so it is quite a bit longer, but I'm just wondering whether to try and make a dent in this and get myself at least started with it so that I don't put it off. I know Jade won't let me at this point, but so that I don't put it off again. So I'm undecided what to do, whether to at least make a dent in this and then maybe tomorrow morning, if I've got time before I go and get my legs waxed and go to Andy's, I can continue on with this for a little bit, or undecided. I am leaning, this would be great in the bath, to be perfectly honest. It's a great little read. It reads really, really fast. But I am debating whether or not to just start this while I'm in the bath and at least get it started so that I've dived straight in. It won't get finished in this vlog. It'll be next week's vlog. But I've at least started it. And I don't forget what's happened at the end of Shadows of Self as well, to be perfectly honest. So I'm thinking I might lean more into this one, but either way, I'll let you know in the morning what I did decide to read and how far I got through it. But I did just want to come on and give you an update on Shadows of Self, so that's where I'm up to. So I'm going to go and get myself ready now for a bath. And and then I may continue watching TV when I get out of the bath, or I might continue on with the physical read that I've been reading, which is Zodiac Academy. I haven't mentioned that in any vlogs because I'm undecided what I'm going to do with it yet. I was undecided whether or not to do a Zodiac Academy vlog, but it's obviously going to take me a while to film that because there's so many books. So I just haven't mentioned it so far, and I've just been making my way through it, and I'm over halfway now. I'm loving it, if you were wondering. So yeah, I'm undecided what to do with that, but I may dive back into that because I haven't picked it up in a couple of weeks actually. So having a bit of an undecided evening on the basis that I've had quite a productive day. So yeah, not sure, but I'll let you know in the morning what I decided to do. I will come back to you and give you an update, and I'll see you then. Okay, it's currently Saturday morning. It's 11:30 and I need to get my skates on and get moving to West Orton. I'm getting my legs waxed at 1 o'clock and I need to nip to the post office on the way. I am still hoping it's open when I get there, but we'll find out. So I wanted to come on and give you another quick update on reading because I did read quite a bit last night with the bath. Actually, I didn't read a great deal in the bath, to be honest, but once I got out of the bath I did. So Bands of Morning update. Last night I did just read the prologue while I was in the bath, so I got myself to part 1, but this morning I've been listening to some more while I've been packing some orders. So I'm halfway through a chapter. I'm currently up to page 63, and you know, glad to be making my way through this. Caitlin's going to hold me accountable for over the next week or so, and keep shouting at me to make my way through this. So she has challenged me to get to page 100 today, which would be page 110, so that I've ended on a chapter, because page 100 is halfway through a chapter. So making progress on this, which is great news. And then last night, I am going to talk about this in this vlog while I decide what else to do with it in general, because I have been umming and ahhing about whether or not to do a reading vlog for this series, but the series is so long and it's still ongoing that I just don't know whether or not that would be conducive, or whether to do like parts in the series. I just don't know what to do with it, or whether just to read them throughout my general reading vlogs. If there's anything specifically you want me to see surround in this series, let me know. But otherwise, I'm probably just going to read them in my general vlogs. So I have now finished this book and I haven't mentioned it at all in any vlog. It did take me 16 days to finish, but I think that's because I put it down for a little bit and started reading other stuff. And I stopped reading it before bed, which is when I was reading this. And I only picked it back up again last night and ended up smashing through the last, like, 300 pages or so of it, 200 odd pages of it. So it is Zodiac Academy by Caroline Peckham and Suzanne Valente, the Twisted Sisters, and the Twisted Sisters they are. I have done a review of this on Goodreads. If you want to check it out, feel free to do so. Personally, I think it's quite funny, but I think it just sums this book up entirely. This book has crack in the pages. I'm not kidding. It's so addictive. My other thought process with this book, with a reading vlog, was to read books that have crack in the pages. You know, read books that aren't necessarily good per se, but you cannot put down and you absolutely love them and they're just fantastic and you're obsessed. Which is this. Granted, the writing is not fantastic. It's fine, but it's not fantastic. The characters... Most of the characters are all assholes in this book, and by assholes I mean the biggest asshole you could possibly find. There is trigger warnings and content warnings for bullying, horrendous bullying, and also non-consensual acts. Not sexual though, not sexual non-consensual acts. So there's no sexual assault in here or rape or anything. They're just non-consensual acts in another form. So basically this follows two twins, Darcy and Tori, who haven't had an easy ride of things. Their parents died when they were younger, and they have been in and out of foster homes all of their lives, and at the age of 18 or just before they turned 18, their foster father kicked them out because he was no longer going to get paid, and they left with nothing, no belongings, no clothes, nothing, and they left money in a wall. So we start off following Darcy, who's trying to get this money back. She's trying to break into a foster father's house and get this money back, and then we follow Tori. So we switch chapters between the two of them. We follow Tori, who's trying to nick a bike to get some money, and it just kind of goes from there. They end up coming across this guy who seems to be stalking them a little bit, and it turns out that he's a professor from Zodiac Academy, which is a Fae school, and it turns out Darcy and Tori are actually Fae, and they're heirs to the throne. And they get taken to the school. They had no idea. They were just mere mortals. And they had no idea. They get taken to the school. And it turns out not all is as simple as it seems. In order for them to get their inheritance, they need to pass the reckoning, and which means understanding their magic and being able to use their magic. They need to pass the reckoning and also get, well, they actually don't need to gain their throne, to be perfectly honest. They just need to pass the reckoning and graduate from Zodiac Academy, and honestly that's all they want to do. They just want to get their inheritance and understand their magic better. However, there is a group of 4 boys whose families have, since their real parents have died and no longer have the throne, and since Tori and Darcy have been hidden for the last 18 years, these 4 families came together and were running the throne essentially, and these 4 boys are heirs to the throne, and now they're not very happy about Tori and Darcy turning up to school out of nowhere, basically coming for the throne. It turns out Tori and Darcy aren't asked about the throne. They just want their inheritance and to understand their magic and belong somewhere. But the boys don't believe them, and it just kind of goes from bad to worse. We have all different kinds of creatures in here, monsters, vampires, we've got werewolves, we've got dragons, we've got nymphs, we've got sirens. There's so many different types, and I just love the world. I love it. I love that it surrounds zodiac. I love that it surrounds astrology. I love that it surrounds elemental magic, and we have the different types of monsters and stuff. I just love it. There's so many different things happening here with the magic system that I really enjoy it. Not only that, but the bullying, listen, I'm not a fan of the bullying. It's going too far. It's going too far. But, and I'm aware that there is like a redemption arc in this series. I don't know what the redemption arc is, but I could see it coming a mile off. It's very simple thing to follow. I don't know what drugs Caroline and Suzanne are going to put in the future pages of the future books to make me forgive all of this shit that's gone down in the first book. I've no idea. But I know it's coming. I see you, Twisted Sisters. The girls read quite similar. Darcy and Tori read quite similar. However, one thing I will say is that they do have their own quirks and their own personalities. Darcy is a little bit more timid, a little bit more quiet, while Tori's out there, and she will defend herself very well. She will stand up to them quite well. Sometimes I worry that it's going to get her in more trouble by doing so. But I said this in my review and I wrote it in the book. I'm not saying me and Darcy are the same person, but you've never seen us in a room together. I am convinced she might have ADHD. Either that or she's just clumsy and distracted as fuck. I'm not sure. But I relate to Darcy a lot. Heavily. Very heavily. And I loved this. I gave it 4.5 stars. If I gave half stars on Corpile, I just gave it 4 on Corpile, on Goodreads, sorry. Because I'm aware that the books do get better around 3 and 4. So I'm allowing for a 5-star read. I'm not sorry. I don't know what to tell you. I was tabbing it up as well. And I've made like, I've been highlighting and made note. You can't even fucking see that. I've been highlighting and making notes. Not loads, but some. Whenever anything interesting happened or I had some foreshadowing. So yeah, that was the other book that I finished last night. I actually don't know what page I was up to last night because I stick a tab in the top so that I can count my pages for my journal, but I moved the tab at midnight so that I could finish the book off. I finished it at 2:30. I didn't want to put it down. I don't know what to tell you. I loved it. It was fantastic. So yeah, this is what I'm currently reading. I need to get back to this at some point. I don't anticipate that I'm going to finish this week, nor this. They'll probably both run into next week, but I don't think I'm even going to pick this up again. So I'm going to take this to Andy's now as well, and I'm also going to take Zodiac Academy 2 with me as well, which is The Reckoning, I think, if I'm correct in thinking so. Because I want to start that. I don't want to fuck about and, you know, sit on it. So I want to get that started as well. I do have to acknowledge the fact that if I get too far into it, though, it won't count as an April read for Realmathon. So I don't want to get too far into it, but I think I want to at least get it started so that it encourages me to continue, because the books get chunkier as well. This was 420 odd pages, I think. The books do get chunkier. I think the next one is over 500, 429 pages. So yeah, that's what I'm doing. Anyway, I've got to make a move because I'm starting to run late now. It's 20 to 12 and I need to get to the post office and then go and get my legs waxed. So I'm gonna bounce, but I will check back in with you when I've got another update for you. That's it.
Just where he was needed, gleaming black as night, cloistered in injustice, dead in the eye of time. Nobody is losing. Faces merchant.
Okay, hey, it is Sunday and it's currently 4:10. I do have a Bugs Life watch along with my patrons at 7:30, but I've just got back from Andy's. Decided to come home earlier today because we were supposed to go out for a meal with his mum for Mother's Day with his flatmate and his mum, but his flatmate's really ill and his mum can't make it, so I've postponed it and I've come home instead so he can watch a new horror film that he wants to watch. He wants to watch Winnie the Pooh. It's a new horror film and I told him there's no way he's going to make me watch that movie because he's not destroying Winnie the Pooh for me. So he's going to watch that and I've come home to watch Bugs Life with my patrons. But I did want to give you an update on reading progress. So Bands of Morning, which I did start straight away on Friday night after I finished Shadows of Self, just to give myself a head start on it. I did get to the prologue, but I have since now gotten myself to page 544, so I am making good progress in this. I really want to get through this soon because, like, before the end of March. First of all, it doesn't wrap up a series because Lost Metal has come out, but as far as my brain is concerned, because despite the fact that I know there's a book 4, to me it's a trilogy, but will be kind of not quite wrapping up a series. But not only that, a series that's been haunting me for a solid year, and it'll be good to get through it, but also it means I can move on and pick up Warbreaker soon as well with Jade, because we've been wanting to buddy read that for so long, but I was kind of holding us back a little bit because I hadn't finished the series off. So I do want to get through this soon, and I'm hoping that I can bash out a couple of hours now before the movie watch along. So far it's going okay. I can see why Jade, you know, was more intrigued by this one than the rest. I can understand it, but it's going all right. Don't expect it to get much more than 3 stars, to be perfectly honest. And then yesterday actually at Andy's, I did also start Zodiac Academy Ruthless Fae. I thought The Reckoning was book 2. It's not. That's book 3. Ruthless Fae, which is book 2 in the Zodiac Academy series. I didn't get too far. I just started it. I got 27 pages in, but already so excited to be like jumping into this. I did panic for a hot second and did a bit of Googling and some research on the best way to read these, and you come up with different answers. Lots of different people have different answers. Caroline Peckham actually does like a release order, like order, and then a timeline order, but this series, the Zodiac Academy like world itself, Solaris, actually, I think it's called Solaris anyway, actually has like 3 different series in it. So there's the Ruthless Boys, the Zodiac Academy, and then another one. The Ruthless Boys is set, I think, 4 or 5 years before Zodiac Academy. Then we've got Zodiac Academy, and then the last one is set like 4 or 5 years after Zodiac Academy. So, but I did find someone with a series order that she's put together. She's currently partway through Zodiac Academy, but I think she's up to like book 8 or 9, or I don't know how many books there are, to be perfectly honest, but I took a screenshot of the order that she's put it in. So she's actually included Ruthless Boys and the other series with this, but she's put the Ruthless Boys and stuff in between the other books. I think she's done it, I don't know how she's done it, but she's come up with Zodiac Academy 1, Zodiac Academy 2, and then go back to Zodiac Academy 0, which is a bully something or other. I can't remember what it's called. I've now ordered it because I thought that I was wrong in picking this up and I should probably pick up 0 first, because I'm, you know, and go back to right at the beginning. I think that's set with Darius about 2 or 3 years before Zodiac Academy 1, but she's put it in at book number 3. So I'm going to read it at book number 3, and then Zodiac Academy 3, and then Ruthless Boys 1, 2, 3, and then Zodiac Academy 4, and then Darkmoor Penitentiary is the other one. So, oh, she's up to Zodiac Academy 5.5, the big ASS party. But she reckons that should be read after Zodiac Academy 3 because of when it's set in the timeline. So I don't know whether or not to do that, I'm not sure. But she's just swapped a couple of the books. I think it's Zodiac Academy, oh yeah, it's the Ruthless Boys 3 and Zodiac Academy 4. In theory, they should be read Zodiac Academy 4, then Ruthless Boys 3. But she said there's actually some spoilers in Zodiac Academy 4 for the Ruthless Boys 3. So she said to, in her opinion, to read Ruthless Boys 3, then Zodiac Academy 4. So I think that's what I'm going to do. So that's where I'm up to. So I'm not actually going to read Zodiac Academy and then go back to the others. I'm going to include them, but I've got this order. I forgot she'd included them. So that's what I'm going to do. So Zodiac Academy 2 is where I'm at. It's a long rounded way of me saying that I thought I was doing this in the wrong order, but now I have found an order that works. So hopefully it does work. And I don't get spoiled for anything. Apparently there's Easter eggs all the way along, like for Ruthless Boys and Darkmoor Penitentiary. So that's the reason why it's good to read it in an order, but there's many different orders to read it, and people say different things all the time. I found so many different orders on TikTok and all of them are different. So yeah, that's what I'm currently reading. I would like to finish Bands of Mourning before the end of the month. Also Secret Bridesmaid, which is over there. I haven't picked that back up yet. So my aim is to make more of a dent in this evening before I watch my movie with my patrons, and then before bed I might go back to Zodiac Academy because this is my physically reading book, and then going into next week I am going to try and finish this and The Secret Bridesmaid off. Whether or not I get to anything else I don't know. So yeah, I'm going to go make some progress in this. Just wanted to give you an update on my books, but I ended up going into a big long thing about Zodiac Academy. No, probably none of you care, but yeah. So I'm going to go and I'm going to do that. I also need to eat something because I haven't eaten anything yet today. I keep forgetting, in all honesty. We got up really early this morning. We ended up watching Scream 6 in bed because Andy managed to find a dodgy copy of it. It was a dodgy copy as well. And then we watched... What did we watch after that? Oh no, I fell asleep. We both fell asleep. And then he put on... some really fucking stupid movie about a bear that finds bags of the white stuff in the jungle, and it was a drug drop gone wrong, and ends up high and attacking people. It was, I don't know, it was bizarre. I didn't watch it. I fell asleep. We both fell asleep because we woke up at like 7:30 and put a movie straight on. So that one we slept through, and then we put on Battle LA. I woke up and I said to Andy, what have you put on? And he went, Battle Los Angeles. So I was like, oh, watch this one, I like this one. And then he just started Return of the King, the oh my god, what's the name of them? The Mummy, Return of the King. I was just about to say to you, the one with the mummies in. The Mummy, Return of the King. He was just starting that, and I was like, you know what? I want to get back, and I want to nip to the supermarket on the way, and they shut at 4. So I made a move. But yeah, it's been a bed movie day, so I want to get some reading done, and that's my plan. So I'm going to go and do that now because I've been rambling for 9 minutes, and that's unnecessary. So I'm going to go, and I'll check back in with you, and I've got an update for you. Okay, good morning, loves. It is currently Wednesday and I'm coming to update you on last week's reading vlog. I don't know if you can tell, but I am pretty ill. It started yesterday. I'm feeling very, very snuffly, stuffy, very chesty cough. My back is so sore. So sore. I'm just, my entire body is killing. I'm in a lot of pain. I'm about to go to work and I'm debating whether or not it's a good idea, but I've got work I need to do on my laptop. My work laptop is at work, so even if I just go to pick my laptop up and come home, I need to do that. But I need to come and wrap up the reading vlog, so that's what I'm here to do. I don't know if I'm gonna get a chance to start and finish a reading vlog this week, just because of how I'm feeling. I don't feel well at all. So I ended up finishing 2 of the books that I started during this, like, last week's reading vlog, yesterday and Monday. So I'm just going to tell you about them now, just because I don't think a reading vlog is going to be able to be done this week, unfortunately. So this week last week I did manage to read a lot. I'm not gonna lie, I was pretty impressed with myself. I was already partway through one of the books, but I hadn't spoken to you about it, like, in general. I basically told you about it once I'd finished it, and that was Zodiac Academy, The Awakening, book 1. I was undecided what to do with this, whether to start filming a Zodiac Academy vlog that would be, you know, a long-term vlog, or whether to do like a reading books that feel like they've got crack in the pages type vlog. I was so undecided, and on that basis I ended up managing getting through the whole book, and then I told you about it in this vlog. So I fucking love this. This was fantastic, and I am obsessed with the Zodiac Academy now. So this got 4 stars, 4.5 if I gave half stars on Goodreads. On the basis that I'm aware that, like, books 3 and 4 get better, I didn't want to give this 5 stars, but I fucking loved it. It was outstanding. I loved it. I have already gone through my review in this vlog. I'm not doing it again. It's not the most incredible piece of literary fiction, but it's got crack in the pages, and that's what I want right now. So then I did read Shadows of Self. Again, didn't start this in this vlog. I was like over halfway through this when I picked it up. It was one of my cursed books, and I'm so proud of myself for knocking it off that bloody list now. So I got sick of seeing it. I gave this one 3 stars. I don't particularly like the Era 2 series, Mistborn Era 2 series. Mistborn Era 1 was a 5-star series for me, but this one has been a very middle of the road 3-star. Not a huge fan, but I finished it and I'm so proud of myself. Then I did read Her Soul for Revenge by Harley LaRue, which I absolutely loved and gave 5 stars. This was fantastic. I had such a good time with it, and I'm so excited now to be ready for when the 3rd one comes out. So it did get me up to date with the series. It's not the last one in the series, but it's gotten me up to date, so I'm really happy with that, 5 stars. And then I did move on to the Bands of Mourning. The minute that I finished Shadows of Self, I picked up Bands of Mourning. I only read the prologue for that evening, but it got me straight into it rather than sitting around and waiting. And on Monday, I finished this and I'm really proud of myself. Took me 4 days to get through it instead of 14 months. So I'm really proud of myself. Again, still not a fan of this series, but this was marginally better than books 2 and 1. I gave it 3 stars still on Goodreads, but 3.5 if I gave half stars. So I'm glad that I've gotten to a point now where I'm kind of like not up to date because The Lost Metal is now out, but it means that I can move forward with the rest of Brandon Sanderson's books. So me and Jade are going to read some of the short stories that are included in the Arcanium Unbound during April for 30 books in 30 days, and then move on to Warbreaker in May, and I'm very excited. And then we can move on to the Stormlight Archives, and then we're going to read The Lost Metal after. So I'm really glad that I've managed to do this. I'm so incredibly proud of myself. Honestly, it's the biggest achievement I've done in a while. It's really pathetic, but I honestly had gotten to a point where I DNF'd the series completely, and it was holding me back from continuing on with Brandon Sanderson. So very excited that I've managed to finish it. And then yesterday I did finish The Secret Bridesmaid, which I started at the beginning of the week, but did kind of put down in favour of the other books. But I finished it yesterday and I gave this one 4 stars. It was good. I enjoyed it. It's definitely more like chit lit, bit like Lindsay Kelk and stuff like that, Page Tune and that stuff, but I thought it was a good time. I had fun with it. It was a laugh. If you've watched the movie 27 Dresses, this is very much so like that. But it was good. And the other book that I have picked up, have not yet finished, but I am still making my way through, is Ruthless Phase, Zodiac Academy book 2. And I am making my way through this. Last night I did get up to page 303. So, still planning on finishing this before, well, for Friday, for the end of the week. I don't know if I'll do like if I'm feeling okay, I might do like a weekend vlog, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, so that I can give you my final thoughts on this one. But if not, I'll do it at the beginning of next week's reading vlog. I would like to do a weekend vlog because Saturday and Sunday are the 1st and 2nd of April, and obviously 30 books in 30 days, so I would like to kick it off with a bang, but I'm going to see how I'm feeling. Right now, I just want to get back in bed. That's all I want. I want to sleep. I've just had a shower thinking it will make me feel better, and I don't. I feel better in the sense that I'm clean, but I don't feel better in myself. So yeah, that's where I'm up to. I managed to read so much. I know Monday and Tuesday are included, and a couple of these books I didn't start in this vlog, but I'm really proud of myself. I don't know what to tell you. That stack's looking massive for March. Good Lord. Anywho, I'm going to go because I need to get to work. I'm already running incredibly late, and I will see you in the next video. Bye for now.